All right. So excited to be back on the New 2 podcast again. I want to welcome everyone. Again, this is Zach Cockfield with New 2 Media. This time we have Brian Stone with us. Brian is a realtor in Missouri in the Ozarks. If you're familiar with that region of the country from the famous show, you'll know that it's a beautiful area that has a lot of vacation amenities, but it's also an area where a number of people are investing for retirement homes, for investment opportunities, and a number of different things. So we're excited to have Brian with us today. Brian, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Zach. I'm excited to chat about all that the Ozarks have to offer.
But absolutely, Brian is a foodie, and he has a lot of great resources to show you, a bunch of great referrals if you're looking for great places to eat when you're in the region. So when you do watch this podcast, you need to obviously click the link below that's going to take you to Brian's page so that we can get you in contact with him. So if you're traveling in the area or you're thinking about investing in the area, he's going to be a great resource, and we're going to get you connected to him. Brian, when did you start working in the real estate industry?
So I started in 2017, and that was when I moved my family up from Arkansas. So I'm not an Ozark native, although I still appreciated the natural beauty of our right the middle of our country, right? So. But yeah, I got started then. Prior to that, I did human resources and business consulting, and I did retail sales prior to that. So yeah, I've always been in some type of people-facing role.
Absolutely. Well, I know from my conversations with you that you have a great bedside manner. You're an easy person to communicate with, and I know that all the viewers will have a great experience in connecting with you. I can't wait to show off some of the images that you shared with us. So I'm going to get right to it.
You can't talk about the Ozarks without talking about food, right? Most people associate us with barbecue, and I very intentionally did not pick any barbecue restaurants to highlight, right?
Okay.
Because we kind of are known for that, and that's easy to find. And we do have great barbecue. We've got great restaurants of all types, though. So I wanted to highlight some of the local non-chain restaurants that I like. So yeah, I mean, I could do a whole episode just on smoked meat. I mean, that'd be easy.
I can't wait.
No, this first one though, if you want me to jump right in, Zach, I mean, this is Farmer's Gastropub. So if you think about like a British style gastropub, it's meant to be smaller bites with a wider menu, and it's focused around a pub feel, right? So naturally they've got great beer selection. This is the front of the building here. Let me see if I can actually get my pictures going here. Yep, there we go. So yeah, obviously the beer is a big thing. They've got all kinds of local brews. We have a huge brewing scene, and Gastropub actually highlights a lot of our local brewers.
Is that a local brew?
So this one is not. It was a picture that I snagged. This is just a good old fashioned dark beer, right? Because you can't be in a pub without getting a dark beer. But we've got all kinds of breweries around us. Mother's Brewery, we have 4x4 Brewery, tons of beer. And so on top of your typical beers that you would expect to see in a pub, Farmers, as we call it here, Farmers Gastropub, also has a lot of the other local brews too. And they do gastro type food. I mean, so if you're looking for something that's hearty,
incredible.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Their mixed drinks are great. They've got all kinds of good dishes, and I've had every type of menu cuisine you could possibly imagine at this one restaurant. Chef Andy, who's the head chef and owner there, he's incredible. He does really good work. They've got typical pub fare too. Your fish and chips, your burgers. Yeah. You see a little bit of the British influence, right? So, you got the mushy peas, and, you can get some meat pies there if you want. Yeah. And it's a gorgeous place to eat. So, but he pulls in from other stuff too, so there's seafood influence here. I mean, I've had ramen here. I've had Scotch eggs. I think I got a good picture of a Scotch egg. I might not have, but they've really good gastro. Shrimp and grits is a seasonal thing that they've had that's always good. This is one of those places that I could tell you menu items, and if you come there, none of what I say may be on the menu.
Okay.
They're constantly rotating it. I mean, it is really from the chef's brain out to the plate. And so if you're the kind of foodie like me that you get tired of some of the same old stuff and you want to try new things, I mean, this is a great spot because you could go in once a month and have a totally different menu.
Wow.
So I think that's all I had on gastropub. Yeah.
No, that's okay. I know, as you said, I mean, this is Missouri. It is inland, but they still get great seafood. They still get incredible food that you wouldn't expect to have in the region in a resort type area. What else do you have for us?
Well, I was going to say in that regard, yes, we're landlocked. But I will tell you, Chris Perkins is a friend of mine. He owns Express Foods, and a lot of the restaurateurs around here actually use him as a supplier. He goes down multiple times a week down to the Gulf to get fresh seafood, fresh shrimp, oysters, you name it, and brings it back. I mean, I've ordered Alaskan wild caught halibut from him directly, and a lot of the restaurants here actually have pretty good supply lines to get some good stuff. So now it's not going to be the same as the coast, right? I will say that it's delicious. You're not going to be mad about it, but it's going to be different than sitting looking at the ocean and then them grabbing a fish and tossing on your plate, right? But we do have some great options.
They get it there pretty quick, which is awesome.
Yeah. And the next spot I'll highlight is Karai ramen and hand roll sushi. So again, landlocked state. People don't think about sushi, Zach, when you think about Missouri. But I'm a huge foodie, but I'm also a huge fan of Japanese cuisine. My wife cooks a lot of Japanese cuisine. We've been to Japan and been to Kyoto and Tokyo and a lot of the food highlights there. Tried a lot of the food there. I'm a ramen obsessed guy, and yeah, I'm always looking for the best bowl of ramen, and it's really hard to get one stateside that is authentic. But Karai is probably the most authentic bowl of ramen that I've tried anywhere in the U.S. that I've been to. They're really good.
Wow.
Really good.
I think you had said that they make their own noodles too, didn't you?
They do. Yeah, they do. They make their noodles in house, and here I'll skip around. You have to excuse that. So yeah, there's one of the bowls there. I mean, and this is this is one that's a little dressed up. You got some mushrooms. They have handmade noodles right there in house. They got bean sprouts there. Of course, you can get the soft boiled egg tossed in there if you want, which I recommend that you do. But they also have different types of ramen. They've got a miso broth ramen. But if you're going, I recommend you get the Karai ramen, which is their signature, and it is it's a pork based ramen. So it's your pork broth that's cooked a long time to get all of the bone marrow flavors out, all of that pork flavor out, and they typically serve it with chashu, which is thinly sliced, almost gummy pork belly, and it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Wow. But they do have sushi, so you could do like fresh sashimi like this. They've got great drinks. They have full bar. Some of their signature drinks actually use stuff that's from Japan. So they have some beers that are bottled that are available, and a beer on tap that are all Japanese beers. They use a lot of sake in their mixed drinks. A lot of Japanese whiskey. So there's a lot of stuff there that's really enjoyable.
Fantastic. Well, that's a beautiful cocktail.
Here's one of the rolls there. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I probably most of your shows that you've done, Zach, you probably have people highlighting one or two pictures, and I'm a foodie, so I've got probably way more than
I love it. No, we will take all the food. So this is great. And tell me about this roll. What is this? It looks a little different.
Yeah, so this is one of their crab rolls, and so it's got crab, it's got some roe on the inside. It has some of the Japanese mayo in there,
Oh,
so
man.
it's a
Bring it.
it's phenomenal. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I love sushi, and again, it's it's not the same as going overseas and having fresh sushi right there
It looks
off of
pretty damn incredible,
the boat.
Brian.
But it's pretty damn good. It's hard. It's hard to be mad about it. It's still going to be fresh. They
You
still
better
have
be taking me
master
there when we visit.
people. Oh yeah. If you go, you're going to get ramen and a side of some sushi. We're gonna go full tilt for sure.
I love it. All right.
Let's see here. Oh yeah. Restaurant itself, yeah. So I won't spend a whole lot of time on this, but yeah, the bar is great, super inviting. If you speak Japanese, a lot of the staff there do. So that's kind of fun, for those of you that might have that language in your back pocket. But it's a great spot. And then, let's see. Speaking of, I'm going to skip around.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
And since we're on the food kick, I'll come back to this because it's going to be pretty cool. But I want to make sure we're highlighting all the food because I had another restaurant in here too. Yeah. So this right here is the Vineyard Market. So this is in Ozark, Missouri. The other restaurants we highlighted were in Springfield. Ozark is just between Springfield and Branson. Still right there in the heart of the Ozarks. But this is the Vineyard Market, and they actually started without the intention of being a restaurant. They were intended to be a wine bar and a cigar lounge.
Wow.
They have a full humidor, one of the larger humidors in the area with a fantastic cigar selection. They've got a beautiful patio. They do events all the time. There's wine tasting events. There's even, my favorite is a cigar event once a month, last Thursday of every month. You get 3 pours of whatever spirits they're trying to highlight. Most of the time, they're highly allocated bourbons, whiskeys, tequilas, and then you'll have a couple of sticks that come with it, a couple cigars, and either a charcuterie for food, or they'll do themed food. One time they had a tequila pairing where they paired 3 different tequilas. And then they had like a tortilla soup and street tacos and stuff like that. I mean, they do some really good stuff.
I love it. And by the way, we are in the process of building out a network of bourbon snobs. So if you have a group that would like to do a tasting at some point, we could do a separate episode on just bourbon too.
I am the owner of a business fraternity called Top Shelf Society, and we are a bourbon sharing group. It's all business owners that are here local. We meet at the Vineyard Market on a weekly basis, and we share highly allocated bourbons every week. So
thank you, sir. May I have another? Zach. Is the phrase that comes to mind.
We could have a whole episode on bourbon, man. Just on that.
I'm sorry, that was unprofessional. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Hey, look, real estate's supposed to be fun. So,
that's right.
I'm not bothered by that. Most of my clients, we have a good time. It's supposed to be fun when you're learning about a new area.
That's right.
Especially if you're moving in from out of state. One of my favorite things to do is to have conversations like this with clients that come through and let them know all the great stuff that is in, the community right here where we live. So
absolutely.
You're not going to make me blush, Zach. You're fine.
No, I love it. And that is a beautiful charcuterie board. Is that pepperoni folded like a flower?
It is.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. And this isn't even the prettiest board that I've seen them do. They are.
You're taking it to another level, Brian. You're embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, look, adult Lunchables are the best thing in the world, right? I mean, everybody loves charcuterie.
Adult Lunchables. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, and remind me when we start talking about Top of the Rock. They actually have done
Okay.
some events. We've done events around here on um, how to build your own charcuterie board. And so we even have events and classes to teach people that want to sign up on how to make boards that look like this. So it's a lot of
That
fun.
looks great.
Yeah. But yeah, they also have, so they have a brick oven at the place, a brick pizza oven. So they
Wow.
do really classic, really good pizza. I mean, it's more of an Italian style classic pizza. You can get a great margarita
Hmm.
pizza. You can get ingredients that you wouldn't typically find. Like there's a pizza that I really like that has artichoke hearts and goat cheese
Hmm.
and like a demi glaze that's drizzled over the top. I mean, so things that you wouldn't
Wow.
typically get. I mean, this is not Pizza Hut, right?
Yeah,
You're going to actually
exactly.
get
Yeah.
some high quality pizzas here.
Is that sun-dried tomatoes? I love sun-dried tomatoes.
Yes,
Oh my
yeah, yeah.
gosh.
They
Oh,
and y they also have, a great cauliflower crust if you're not into, the thicker, kind
okay.
of, puffy crust or if you are gluten intolerant, right,
Hmm.
or trying to avoid that.
Hmm.
Cauliflower crust is hit or miss for me. There's some of it that's terrible, but, the Vineyard Market has a fantastic cauliflower crust that they make in-house. It's really good.
It looks delicious.
Yeah, and then, of course, bourbon, right? So they
There
have
we
got,
go.
um, the Vineyard Market is also, big on getting barrel picks. They'll do their own barrel picks. So you've got highly allocated bottles
Hmm.
from smaller distilleries, and they're doing individual barrel picks that you can only get there at the Vineyard Market. They have bottles that you
Hmm.
can buy. So if you come and you visit and you want to take a bottle back home that's
Yeah.
unique to the Ozarks and Missouri, it's a great spot to go to find that.
Okay.
And it's stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else other than right here in Southwest Missouri. So.
All right, let me ask a question on that because I know that, like for instance, Virginia, where I grew up, is a state where the state controls it, and so that would, that's where those allocations uh, um, uh, come into the mix. Georgia is a state where I live now that is everything's private, but you're saying that Missouri is a state where everything it is controlled by the state. Or
So somewhat. So a lot of your distillers are distributing nationally, right? So
okay.
because a lot of the states have become straight state controlled,
Hmm.
they're doing specific statewide barrel picks or blends, right?
Okay.
Depending on what the spirit is.
Sure.
And so Missouri doesn't have the same controls, but they still have specific spirits that are only distributed in Missouri.
Wow.
And then an individual liquor store owner or restaurant owner that has a liquor license to sell in Missouri can also do a barrel pick where they work directly with the distiller. They go to the
Oh,
facility, they taste
wow.
different barrels, they pick the
Hmm.
blend that they want or the barrel that they want if they want to go cast strength, and then
Hmm.
that distillery bottles it for them, and it is exclusively their location that is able to sell that.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
so
fascinating. So for the bourbon snobs, that sounds like a road trip. I mean, you got some opportunities in the state of Missouri that you're not going to have other places. So that's really interesting.
yeah, and it's not always distilleries that are in Missouri. I mean, we have distilleries here. We also
Uh-huh.
have things like High West, which is actually out of Utah,
Uh-huh.
but there are Missouri specific barrels that are just for Missouri, even with national distillers like that are
Oh,
popular.
okay. 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 I'm learning something there. That's fascinating.
Oh yeah, like I said, I could
Good
do a whole
stuff.
podcast just on bourbon.
No, well, we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Oh yeah.
Um, that sounds great.
So here's an example of one of the spreads for the event. So in this one, they did the real McCoy, which is actually rum, but there's some aged rum in here. They did 3 different pours of the real McCoy line, and along with a couple cigars. You can see the humidor there in the background.
Hmm.
And their lounge, I will tell you, most people think of a cigar lounge as this smoky, uncomfortable place to sit. And I will tell
Right.
you that they have spent a ton of time, effort, and money on making sure that their ventilation systems are top notch. They're constantly changing the filters and maintaining it. The
Right.
lounge is comfortable, even if you're not looking to smoke a cigar. If you'd like to sit there with somebody that does,
Hmm.
you can leave not smelling like a smoke shop, which is
Right.
fantastic.
Right.
And it is friendly for everybody. A lot of ladies are intimidated to go into a cigar lounge, even if they might want to try a cigar. And the owner of the Vineyard Market is actually it's Heather, and Heather loves to have her female patrons come in so that she can walk them through the process of how to cut, how to pick a cigar, what flavor profiles they might want. She helps light the cigar for them, and will sit there with them and chat and learn their story. I mean, it is really an experience to go to the
I,
lounge.
I was just
Um,
going to say that is one of the things that we are trying to uh, uh, help people find are great experiences. I mean, we obviously want to help them connect to great professionals like you, Brian, but uh, we want to help connect our viewers to great experiences, and that sounds like a great experience.
it's a ton of fun, even if you are not a huge tobacco person. If you just want to try it once, just to have fun or for
Sure.
a celebration, great place
Yeah.
for anniversary, bachelor party, bachelorette party, you name it. We have all kinds of
Hmm.
cool activities there. Um,
Love it.
I think that's it for the restaurants. If we want to back it up, I apologize for jumping around. I wanted to make sure
No,
I hit
that's
the Vineyard
okay.
Market.
That's okay. I mean, um, we're flexible here.
Okay, perfect. So, one of the other community highlights I wanted to highlight, we have a lot of parks around the Midwest, and
Hmm.
specifically the I'll show another picture. The
Yeah,
Mizumoto
I think.
Japanese Stroll
Can you
Garden
zoom that
is
just a
probably
little
my
bit,
favorite.
Brian?
I'm not sure if I can get any bigger than that.
I do see.
We
There
might
we go. There we
might
go.
be able to get a little bit bigger. I apologize.
That is
I'll get
good.
to a
That
better
is good.
picture.
No, that's good. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So there's a it's a 7.5, 8 acre somewhere around there, stroll garden within Nathaniel Green Park in Springfield, Missouri, and it's actually upheld by the Springfield Sister Cities program. So there is a sister city in Japan that they coordinate with. They will have people that travel from Japan to come and learn about the culture here in the Midwest, and then we'll have people
Mhm.
here go there. And that's the organization that upholds this stroll garden. I have on my phone. I mean, my family goes all the time. I've got probably way better pictures that I've captured, but it is immaculately kept. You're going to see Japanese maples. You're going to see beautiful garden setup. They do light it up. They have a lot of events here throughout the year
Mhm.
where they'll have live music. There's a Japanese kite festival that happens once a year. They even
Wow.
have tea ceremonies where you can go into the tea house that's there on the property, learn the cultural significance of tea and how to actually do a tea ceremony. I mean, so there's really uh, a really neat spot. And obviously, I'm a little biased, as you can tell from the pictures. I love Japanese cuisine. I love Japanese culture, so I had to put that stuff in there. But this
Sure.
is $5, $5 to go through the garden.
Unbelievable. That $5 for again a great experience, and I'm
Yeah,
really impressed by the cultural exchange. And this it sounds like is that not just a student exchange type program? This is something that many
it's
adults
a
in the community
community.
take part in.
It's a community exchange program. Yes,
Wow.
there are students. Absolutely, that is a big part of it. But there's also adults that participate. And if you go visit the sister city in Japan, you'll see information about Springfield, Missouri, all the
I
way over
love
there.
it.
Right.
That is so
So
cool.
it's really neat. And yeah, that's all the pictures I had for the stroll garden. We also Sertoma also holds an annual duck race in Ozark,
I'm
Missouri, at the
excited about
Finley
this
River.
part. I'm
Yeah,
excited about
so I
this
know you
part.
love ducks, Zach. So the duck race is, I mean, this is a huge local festival that even some locals don't even know about. But essentially, you can sponsor a duck. and they float them all down the Finley River. They capture all of them. No ducks are lost. So you don't have to worry about that. But essentially, all the money goes to local charities. So it's a phenomenal way to have a great event. And there are vendors, there are foods. It's kind of like going to a state fair or local fair. Everything that you would typically see at a fair is going to be there. There's going to be all kinds of vendors, all kinds of booth setups. But then at the end of it, everybody gets to sit by the riverbank and watch the ducks race, which is just an absolute blast. This past year, they gave away a car. So one of the local car dealerships actually sponsored a Camaro. And so if you were the winning duck, the first one across the finish line, then you could actually win the car. And they have other prizes and stuff too. So you can see people lined up just to watch the river.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to the New 2 Duck, because that's our mascot. And I'm showing off the New 2 bling on the duck, because we are actively working to partner with Jeep dealerships all over the country with the duck bling that we're giving away. But sorry for that shameless plug.
No, that's not shameless at all. Everybody loves duck bling. So that's awesome. The other thing,
where is that? That's because I had not seen these. It looks like a Busch Gardens.
Let me get that pulled up. So Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri is regularly ranked in the top 10, in some list in the top 5 theme parks across the U.S. They set out every time they build a coaster to break records, and this is actually their newest attraction. It is it's a water ride, so it's a rafting ride where you do all of the rafting, but it's the highest ride of that kind. It actually goes up on a lift, and you go down these a slide and back into the rapids. It's wild.
You're in the treetops. It looks like
wild. Yeah. They also have set records with their coaster, the Time Traveler, which I've got a picture of too. I'll show you. Actually, I think this next one is, and this is probably, there we go. I had to adjust it. So this is a roller coaster that has full free rotation all the way around. So every single time you ride it is different. This was the fastest free rotating coaster when it was built, and also the only one that was built that had this many inversions. So it had more inversions than any other coaster of this type. It also has a midway launch. So you have your initial launch, then you go through a launch again halfway through the coaster.
That's great.
The theming is cool. Think like steampunk, style. Like I go to this every time, and I think of Doc from Back to the Future 3 when he goes back in time in the Wild West. I mean, that's the whole kind of feel. But it's fantastic. And there's a here. I'll shrink this back down. There's another highlight.
I'm going to pause you for just a moment, Brian, to say something. For those of you that are watching this and you're thinking, holy cow, I didn't know all these different things are there in the region. I want you to know that even if you're not moving to Branson or Springfield, maybe you're just thinking about doing a vacation there, Brian can connect you with vacation properties as well.
Absolutely.
So all you're going to have to do is click on the link below to get connected from Brian's page to opportunities like that. So even if you're someone who is, maybe you're thinking about just taking the kids there for a vacation, or maybe you're thinking about buying an investment property there, you don't necessarily have to be thinking about moving to Branson or Springfield to benefit. Make sure that you click on Brian's link so that we can get you connected for those opportunities.
No, I appreciate you taking the moment to talk about that, Zach. Yeah. Because look, we are not listed as the most affordable state in the U.S., but I think that's a little bit misleading, because our investment opportunity here is huge. We actually have some of the lowest tax rates. Fun fact about Missouri that you may not be aware of that's real estate related: we're a non-disclosure state, which means when a property sells, the county or the city don't reassess your property value to match the sales price, which means our taxes are incredibly low comparatively for other similar price ranges around the country. So because of that, it's very investor friendly. I have a lot of out-of-state investors that while they don't live here, they'll buy vacation rental properties around Branson. They'll buy midterm rental properties in Springfield because we have two huge hospital systems. We're also the home of Bass Pro, and we have Expedia here. So there's a lot of opportunities for
I did
great
not know
cash flowing
Expedia
properties.
was there. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit of everything. Yeah. So, but yeah, so Silver Dollar City, it's an affordable park. My family goes there all the time. It's a lot of fun. The other thing I'll show and highlight is the lakes, right? So these are some pictures of, and they're not super big, I apologize, but these are some pictures of Table Rock Lake. And Table Rock Lake actually has more miles of waterfront property than the state of California.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. And a lot of it is still undeveloped, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a good thing too. So there's a lot of restrictions around development here. In particular with this lake, not every lake is the same. We have a lot of lakes in the area. Lake of the Ozarks, which is what most people associate with the show Ozark, right?
Sure.
It's a lot more commercialized, and it's just a couple hours away from where I'm at. I've got partners that sell property there too, but it's a totally different experience compared to going to Table Rock Lake. Or Taneycomo, or some of the lakes that are around here in south that are further south. We also are pretty close to Bull Shoals, which goes into Arkansas a little bit too. And the Army Corps of Engineers on a lot of these lakes, they prevent the building of docks unless you hit certain criteria. So when you're going out to these lakes, you're still seeing a lot of the natural beauty that the Ozarks have to offer.
Absolutely.
It's not all condos or all restaurants or all properties, and I personally love that. I mean, if there are some lakes out there, especially as you get further out to the coast, that get over commercialized. The water's not as clean. They get busy, and it's just not as enjoyable.
Well, and if the boat traffic gets too high, it can even be dangerous.
Yeah. If you got young kids and your intent when you go to the lake is to get out and play some water sports, to ski, to tube, to wakeboard, you don't want to go to one of those really, really busy lakes because it can be, as you said, it can be dangerous. There's a lot of action on the water.
Absolutely, especially on the holidays.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And down while we're kind of talking about Branson, right, which is part of the market I serve as well.
Sure.
We couldn't not mention all of the caves and natural beauty that's there. We have a ton of cave systems. This is actually right off.
I thought you were going to talk about casinos. Here you are. You're talking about caves. We're learning things today.
No, Branson is surprisingly family friendly. Even Silver Dollar City has a deed restriction on the land that prevents the sale of alcohol on the property.
Wow.
So it's not your typical type of experience. It's why it's such a popular destination for families to come. And a lot of people retire here. This is actually this is Top of the Rock. So, and I'll go back to this picture in just a second, but this is Top of the Rock. Johnny Morris, which is the owner of Bass Pro, has invested a lot in conservation and making conservationism also attractive as a place to come and to have experiences, right? So this is one of his golf courses, which is absolutely gorgeous. So if you love golf, there's some great places to hang out. The attraction we just showed here is also part of Big Cedar Lodge in that area, which is a it's all kind of connected, and you can actually drive a golf cart through the cave. And there's even a bar inside the cave to order.
You're kidding me. There's a bar in the cave.
There's a bar in a cave.
That's a first. That's a new first. Bar in a cave.
Bar in a cave, yeah. And this is just one of the cave systems. We have Fantastic Caverns, which does jeep tours through the cave. We also have some natural caves that are walking tours. Silver Dollar City, which I know we already talked about, it has a cave, which is Mystic Caverns. So when you buy a ticket to that theme park, you also can take a cave tour underneath, which is really cool. So, And yeah. So there it is. Yeah, it's Johnny Morris's Top of the Rock, Ozarks Heritage Preserve. So he's got all kinds of outdoors kind of activities to check out there. There's another
I
picture of
love
the
it.
course. I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, some of the views that you have playing around a golf here. I mean, I think you'd have to go all the way to the coast to Pebble Beach to get the kind of views that you can get right here in the Ozarks.
Right.
It's just a really unique course setup. It's
It,
a lot
it,
of fun.
it, it looks like a great place to go do a golf trip. So if there's a group of guys or a group of ladies that want to get away and do their annual golf trip, it looks like a fantastic place to do that.
Yeah, and I'll give you gave the plug on the duck. I'll give a plug on the golf trip. Um, I I would be a terrible realtor if I didn't invest in the community that I'm asking my clients to invest in, right?
Mhm.
And I myself, I've got a golf condo that's right off of Thousand Hills in Branson.
Mhm.
It'll sleep up to 10, but it has gorgeous views of the fairway. And so if you reach out to me, follow that link.
That's right.
I can even hook you up on a property that I own if you want to go check it out, and I'll give you a discount so you can check out the Ozarks.
There we go. That value created. Good stuff.
Love it, love it. Here's another shot of the course. Yeah, I mean, it was hard to pick from some of the options there. I think that was it. Yeah, that was
Well,
it.
that's fantastic. That's a incredible first episode mix of images that will help people learn about what's going on in the region. It's a lot more than just what you see on the Ozark show. I'm glad we had Brian, a professional that really knows the area, taking a few minutes to tell us about great food, great places to play golf, vacation destinations. We didn't even touch on some of the things that people are used to hearing about with Branson. We didn't touch on the casinos. We didn't touch on some of the other, share this information with the viewers on our network.
Well, look, I mean, if you've been anywhere in the U.S., you understand that there's always more to a community than what first appears, right? And
Absolutely.
the Ozarks are no different. And I would love to have people come visit. I mean, I'm not an Ozark native, but I moved my family here because I absolutely adore this area. I mean, we get all 4 seasons is what we say around here, so
Hmm.
we have gorgeous fall foliage through the Ozarks that are really great for any photographers or people that like nature.
Hmm.
We've got beautiful botanical gardens in Springfield that come out in all the seasons, but in particular in the spring. I mean,
Right.
there's all kinds of things that I could talk about, Zach. It's just a beautiful place to live and work and visit.
Well, fantastic. We can't wait to connect you with some of the viewers. And thank you again for taking the time to be here today, Brian.
My pleasure.
Okay.